Just one more test. Just a little test. See how I look there? Great. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's a test. And we are going to tell this story on the air.
Oh, 100%.
5, 6, 7, 8. We got Big Theater Kid Energy.
Hello, and welcome to Big Theater Kid Energy. I'm Ryan Garcia, your host. This is the show where I go and see theater, usually in LA, and I tell you what I think about it with a great celebrity fun guest. Ooh, our guest today is actually in New York City, and we're in his home. Nik Walker, I just saw you in Bull Durham the Musical last night, and now I'm in your home at the Paper Mill Playhouse. I'm in your home, and you told me, Nik, that you had a working Shure microphone so that we were set to go and good to go today. But unfortunately, the cable's shit. Your mic's not working, so my dreams have come true, and you and I are sharing a mic, my friend.
All right, I want to talk about this very briefly because here's the deal. Ryan has at this point, has to be 20 years long journey of invading my personal space. So the idea that we'd have to
That we'd have to share a mic. I didn't mean to finish your sentence for you. It just felt so right.
Make sure that they can see me in this one
No,
too.
they can see you. Don't worry about it.
Because the fact that we'd have to share a mic to get this interview done is the most Ryan Garcia thing I've ever heard of in my freaking life.
This is my favorite thing. What's great about it too is like the sound's gonna be so clean.
It's gonna be great.
You can't speak unless the mic's in front of you, Nik.
It's gonna be great.
It's called media training.
Oh my
okay?
Do we swear on this podcast?
Hey man, you can swear all you like. I don't a lot because I don't want to be demonetized, but I'm not monetized right now, so do whatever you want.
Okay, man.
You know,
I'll try not to swear, Ryan.
If I do get monetized at some date, then I'll have to go back and clean this shit up.
Is that a real thing? You'd have to go back and clean
I don't think so. I'm just kind of being dramatic. Anyway, yeah, so saw Bull Durham the Musical at the Paper Mill Playhouse, and it was wonderful. This man was excellent in it. But we're not talking about that quite yet. We will talk about how long is it running at Paper Mill Playhouse?
It's running until November 2nd. November 2nd.
That's 2 days after Halloween, everybody. 2 days after Halloween is your chance to see Bull Durham the Musical at the Paper Mill Playhouse in New Jersey.
Yes, and I won't be there on... Well, there's not a show on Halloween because I'll be doing the other show that I'm in, which is Masquerade. We can talk about that too if you want.
Of course we're going to... Wait, you think like it's my first time? You think I'm some kind of bozo? You think I'm not going to talk about Masquerade?
Why are you looking at the camera instead of looking at me?
Because Nik. Because, Nicholas, this is my access to the community. This is my access to the audience. You're not even here.
Guys, it's Mental Health Awareness Month, and I just want to say...
Make sure you're looking at the lens and not at yourself.
I'm looking at the lens.
I don't know. You didn't even know when to talk on the mic.
Oh, my God.
You didn't know when to look at the lens.
I'm just a young man trying to make his living in this world.
Nik Walker and I met each other in Ithaca, New York at the Hangar Theater doing a little show called Rent.
Oh, God.
Where Nik Walker played Benny, but he was understudying Tom Collins and went on as Tom Collins, and boy, were you beautiful. You were incredible in that. And then Nik Walker, his half-sister?
Yeah, well,
His stepsister graduated from the same college that I graduated from at UCF in Orlando. And she was graduating the same day that I did. So Nik came into town, and we got to party that night, and he missed his flight because he went too hard at Houlihan's.
No.
Anyway, since that, and then after that...
That is not... We don't have to talk about this, but I just want to say for the record, to whoever listens, that is not how that went. And Ryan was...
See, I asked what your levels were, and then you got activated, and you got a little bit loud.
Oh, my
You
God.
don't have to get so close to it. It's okay. It's going to catch you.
That is not how that evening went. Okay, I'm saying it in a very calm
Sit up
voice.
straight. Sit up straight like a man.
This man invaded my home. He put a creepy purple light in my kitchen.
It looks good. So Nik, come here. So Nik, after the Houlihan's, you want to talk about what happened to Houlihan's?
Do you?
No, it seems like you just were upset. You wanted to say something.
All I'll say is this. When you got a friend who says they got your back,
Yeah.
and they're going to remind you what time your flight was.
That is not. I'm sorry. Now you're rewriting history. Did you hear what he said? If you have a friend who's going to remind you what time your flight is, you are a grown man.
If you have a friend who says they're going to drive you to your flight in the state that you are not living in, and then that friend sleeps.
Who else slept?
Then that friend sleeps through the time.
I'm sorry, I didn't know it was also your alarm.
Hey. See that? That's the stuff that flies out there in California.
Anyway, so Nik Walker and I...
We don't do that here in the East Coast.
Anyway, Nik Walker and I, we went back to the Hangar Theater, and we did a little show called Men of La Mancha, and we had some wires crossed with the Hangar, because we told them that we wanted to be in the same domicile. Like, we wanted to be, like, you know, normal roommates. But they made us roommates, because I think they thought we were lovers.
They did think we were lovers. I want to be clear about that. They thought we were lovers.
Now, Nik Walker, since then, you've gotten married. You've worked on Broadway in multiple shows. What was the first show you did on Broadway?
First show I did on Broadway was a little show called Motown the Musical.
You did Hamilton. You did the tour of Hamilton. You put Aaron Burr on the tour of Hamilton. Then you went back to Broadway as Aaron Burr in Hamilton. You were also in Ain't Too Proud as Otis Williams. You were in Spam-A-Lot as Sir Dennis Galahad. Oh my God. And now you're the Phantom.
Yeah, I'm the Phantom now. I don't like... I'm one of those people who doesn't like their career read back to them. Because it's just... You know, you think about... I don't know. It's just uncomfortable. It's just uncomfortable, right? Like, because for me, the credits are fine, and I'm very grateful to have had them, and I'm very grateful to have this career. It's a little weird because I never studied musical theater, so to look back now and know that most people who know me from musical theater is a fascinating thing. But also, thanks for the money.
What is it that you would like to be known for? This is so silly.
It's, again, the epitome of a Ryan and Nik interview. I don't know any other way that we'd be doing this.
It's true.
I would like to be, if I could have a choice, probably being a teacher, probably being a professor. That is what I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of that.
You're a professor at NYU.
I am, yeah.
How did they trust you with that?
They shouldn't.
You don't have to lean in each time. The microphone's going to come to you. How about you just lean in when we come in to talk to each other real close?
Are you now in charge of the swiveling?
I think at best it is my show.
Okay, because it just feels really controlling.
Oh my gosh, we get it. You're a professor, but you're not a psychoanalyst, so back off.
I don't feel safe here. This is terrifying, my God.
Hold that, talk to them.
The thing about being...
Go on.
This is goddamn... This is chaos. And I just want everyone to see that it's chaos. I want people to understand that what he does is chaos. You know what I mean? When he says big theater kid energy, what he really means is anarchy.
I want to remind everyone that this was Nik Walker's fault for having a broken cable and broken microphone. So you are a professor who teaches people. You're also a grown Disney adult.
Yeah, I am. I am a grown Disney adult.
Say more about that.
When you were talking about it, it seems like you're talking about it with a bad distinction.
I think you're putting that on it.
No, no, I don't think I am, buddy. I think you are putting it.
So you like to keep the magic alive.
I love immersion. I love craft and artistry. I grew up on these films. I also am absolutely neurospicy. So going to these places that has, if I just put perfect example. When my wife and I this was like first year dating, she came to visit me. I was doing a play out at La Jolla, and she came out to visit, and this was 2012, and I was like, well, we got to go to Disneyland. And she was like, Nik, why would I go to a place for children? Like, we're in our mid-20s, like, we're grown adults. Why would I do this? I was like, well, Sarah, just give it a try for me. And she walked in, and this was back in the days of Captain EO. It was a great film. It's not a great film at all. But Captain EO was starring Michael Jackson, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. And she saw that film, and she was so flabbergasted. She was like, why does this exist? Because you have to understand, this film is literally Michael Jackson in a spacesuit with like puppets named Hooter, and Angelica Houston is like a queen alien. It's like the most acid trippy thing you've ever seen. And her face when she saw this was like, I don't understand what I just watched. I was like, well, Sarah, this is Disneyland. And then when we later took her to Orlando. It was at that point, it was Diagon Alley had just opened, and she stepped in there. She's a huge Harry Potter fan, and she literally would just wander Diagon Alley for like hours, just going in the shops and loving it. So I love, it's keeping the magic alive, but more to the point, I think that like it's just these when you grew up around storytelling and stories, and these places just make them real for you. It's lovely.
And that's also, is that attached to what your love for performance is fully getting lost inside of, or is that an aspect of it perhaps? I'm sure that it must go so much deeper, because really you are, so many of my friends are multi-hyphenates, but I don't think any of them know what a multi-hyphenate is until they meet you, because of I know you really don't like it, because of how, there's nothing written down here. I wrote down Disney Adult ADHD, wrote new animated show in Whiskeyland, but we don't have to talk about any of those things. They're written there. I only turned it like that, I want you to know, because I thought you needed a little more light, and I thought the screen would be helpful.
Oh, thank you.
To give us that, a little more white from the screen. Yeah.
Love that.
And it meant I was also exposing myself to you. You can't say thank you.
Thank you.
Unless the mic's in front of you. So, so Nick, that I'm sure there are many other aspects that excite you about storytelling and about what it means to be a storyteller, because you seem to work in all mediums: animation, feature film, musicals. You wrote a musical. You also have, I think, written full-length plays that have no singing in them whatsoever. You've been in every type of medium of show. And so I'm just saying that one aspect of it, after having seen you last night, it's clear how much you're just like, I am here with these people inside this world, and we are living in it fully. And also, I'm not fully caring about serving this audience. Like, we are, because the show is, but really what I care about is if we are connected, that does serve the audience.
I think my favorite thing about any good type of storytelling, especially theater, because I know that this you focus on theater here, but I think that theater at its best, right, is tapping into something since the dawn of time, and I don't mean to sound pretentious, but I do say this in my classes. Since the dawn of time, people have been gathering in small, dark spaces to hear stories told, right? That is just something that we do, and it is built for empathy, right? Like that idea of being gathered together, seeing something happening in front of us or around us or whatever it is. So I love it. And it also, again, I will say it is a place, I think life can feel so out of control, right? Especially when you get into adulthood, you just feel like there are things that I just don't understand, things that I don't understand, that, your family, all these things that are crazy. But at the end of the day, the thing that I love about theater is like, it is, in a sense, controlled. It is a place to explore these emotions and these kind of crazier moments, but in a space that is, not to use an overused phrase, but safe, and that is that I love the idea that I get to play these characters or write these stories or do these things where I not that I know the outcome, but that I get to, I don't have to worry about kind of the when I'm with people I trust,
there's artistic guardrails,
yes,
that are there to protect you. That is not actually going to end up in fighting or fucking. Like, correct. No one's going to die. No one's going. Things can happen. People can fracture their ankles on stage.
We love you, Jake Trammell.
Which happened at the the matinee before the opening night that I saw last night. A performer fractured his ankle in the opening number of the show and had to go to the hospital. But the point that you're making is that we can really push boundaries, but still there are guardrails on how far those boundaries can be pushed so that nothing actually disastrous or dangerous can happen.
So you mentioned that I'm doing Phantom right now, and right. My favorite thing about this production of Phantom that we're doing, Masquerade, is that it's immersive, right? And so you are not coming to a proscenium theater. You are literally stepping into the opera house, and the story is happening around you as you traverse this thing. And it's not free roam. Like, you are literally, we call it on the rails, right? Like, you are going where we want you to go when we want you to go there.
On the rails, like a Disney ride that looks like it's a log on the water, but actually it's on a track underneath that water.
Correct. And I think that one of the things that, to your point, that I've loved about the experience of doing it has been that sense of like, oh yeah, there's an agreement, an unspoken agreement when you come into this opera house that, like, me as the Phantom, I can get right up to your face and scream in your face. But like that I'm not going to hurt you.
It's those people that love haunted houses.
Yes.
Like, they can't touch you, but they're going to get right up as close as they can. Last time that I was in a haunted house that I got hurt, a friend of mine was so scared, and he's strong. He grabbed me and dragged me to the ground. That's how I got hurt. I didn't actually get hurt, but it was pain. It was like intense.
My wife, so we're big Halloween people in this house, and my wife will tell you that I am absolutely the person, because I love scaring people, but I hate being scared. I'm absolutely that person that when we go to haunted house together, I will grab the child in front of us and use them as they're my shield. I'll push them to like around the corner so that they get that scared before I do.
The great thing about children is they're a little bit lighter.
They're so light.
They're easier to manage.
They're so light.
You can just throw them in front and you're safe. You're protected.
Protected by the
This
children.
is big theater kid energy.
yeah,
Look in
yeah.
the lens. Look in the lens. Nick.
It's jazz hands. It's not jazz hands. It's just
no,
hurting
this
children.
is a different kind of theater.
That's
Wait, did you
mine.
say hurting children?
That's crazy, Ryan.
Are you going to be hurting these children?
No, who said that? Don't demonetize him.
These children are in danger.
No. Nobody's in danger. Nobody's in danger.
Sorry, Always Sunny in Philadelphia. There's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's just the implication. Look, there's nothing else about theater I even want to talk about. Usually they ask, like, where's your favorite place to sit? I don't even think you have a chance to sit in theaters. You're doing too many shows to sit in theaters to see shows. You're just in the show. When you're not in one show, you're in the other. You're doing rehearsals for Bull Durham the Musical and then having to go and do opening night for Masquerade. That's insane. That is not a normal schedule for somebody in New York.
I want my money.
And you're going to get that money.
You know what I mean? That's why I do it. Just the money, not the love of passion of theater.
We're going to cut that part out. Not really. I'm keeping it. Okay.
Keep it.
All right. We're just going to jump because I did a little bit of a segue about Bull Durham, so we're going to stick with that. That part, the little segues get cut. This is me talking to the editor.
I hate you. So you shouldn't. I just want to say, if there's one person who shouldn't be drinking coffee, it's Ryan Garcia. He doesn't need it.
I didn't need a coffee, but I had some extra time.
Well, you had some extra time because you got here 30 minutes early.
Because I don't know how the New York subway systems work, Nick. I don't want to be late and make it and not be professional. So since I was early, what did I do? It's cold and windy. There's a nor'easter outside.
Point of order: the nor'easter has passed us.
I went to a coffee shop.
Nor'easter passed at least like a day ago. It wasn't even there yesterday.
You were worried about Larry at midnight, and that's today. Yeah, I got the facts. I got the facts and the receipts. I'm in a group text with Larry and Sasha Hutchings.
Do you want to tell them who Larry is? Do you want to tell them who Sasha Hutchings is?
Larry's your driver.
No, not like that. Not like that. I'm
Is
just,
that what you... Okay, I'm sorry, everyone. I'm so sorry, Nick. I'm so sorry. Nick has a driver,
Oh my God,
and his name
that's
is
not
Larry.
what I meant.
I didn't mean to not tell them about that. He's very high class. He's well-to-do, and I want to make sure you know that about him. And Sasha Hutchings is his chaos twin. Let's do a quick backstory on the Paper Mill and also Bull Durham. Great, because we're going to talk about that now, because that's what you're in, and you're very good in it. And I'm excited to talk about it. Do you know the history of the Paper Mill Playhouse?
I actually know nothing about this
Do you want to
play.
read it? Because since this is here for your light, you can read it.
Oh my God. Yeah, guys, I'm going to learn something on the spot. The building was originally a paper mill. Holy
I know. Sit down. This is careful. There's going to be a lot. I'll tell you. In March of 1795, Sam Campbell built Thistle Paper Mill along the Rahway River on the site that later became Millburn. And it was an operational paper mill until 1928. That's a long time. From 1795 to 1928. And then it was converted into a theater by Antoinette Scudder. She was the money. And Frank Carrington, he was the vision. He was the big theatrical guy. He knew all the stuff. But she had the money, and she also really loved the arts. And the Playhouse officially opened on November 14th, 1938 with The Kingdom of God by Martinez Sierra. Oh, yeah, and it's a Broadway incubator. And you've worked at a couple houses that are Broadway incubators, including the La Jolla Playhouse, which I hope to see a show at some point soon. Are there other ones that you've been at that are considered that?
Yeah, I would say the big ones I've done La Jolla Old Globe was another one that's a Broadway incubator, Paper Mill, Kennedy Center before all this madness.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Nick.
Yeah.
Can you tell them what a Broadway incubator is?
Yeah. You were speaking about it like they knew.
I know, but that's because I was trying to set you up. Now this is me setting you up.
That was setting me up for be a Broadway incubator.
So what's a Broadway incubator?
I'm not going to do it with looking into your eyes.
Do it.
A Broadway incubator is a house, a theater that is known for being a great theater, whether because of location. I hate this, by the way.
You're doing a beautiful job.
Thank you so much. Whether it's because of its location or because of just it's something about your eyes. No, I'm look here.
I was falling in love a little bit.
I know you were. I know you were for 14 years.
We gotta move. We're losing
Losing light. Broadway Incubator is a space that, whether it's because of location or because of reputation, is known for being a space that can elevate a show to transfer, right? So if the goal of your show is to get to the Broadway space, right, like the between 42nd and 54th in Times Square, you generally want to have an out of town tryout. So you pick a theater. Lot are in LA. Lot are in new tri-state area. Some are in like Chicago, but you want it to be a place where generally your investors can get to pretty easily, and a theater that has some prestige to it. So Paper Mill, Old Globe, La Jolla, Kennedy Center, all these places are places that kind of fit that bill. Easy access from New York, relatively, and/or good show.
Did you say Andor?
I said and/or, but I am also saying Andor.
Because you love Andor.
I love Andor so much.
The Paper Mill Playhouse is one of these Broadway incubators, and they currently, right now, for their season, are opening it with Bull Durham the Musical, which was written by the writer of the movie Bull Durham, who also directed that movie, Ron Shelton. He wrote and directed Bull Durham the movie, came out in 1988, which is the year that the story is set in. And I think, I've been reading about, because I watched the movie for the first time, just as prep for this. And I got to say, I loved the movie. I really did. I had such a great time watching it, because you're watching something through the lens of, this is they don't make movies like this anymore at all. There's nothing that fits that tone or that style. And obviously there's also parts of it that just wouldn't make it maybe through some of the more modern lens.
You're saying this very diplomatically. It came out in 1988.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's from 1988, and I say that with love. It is from 1988, different time, not 2025.
That's right. Yeah. A different lens, different time. And Ron was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay for that. Budget was $9 million. It made $50.9 million domestically. That's a massive success, especially in 1988. It stars Kevin Costner as Crash, the character you played, Susan Sarandon as Annie Savoy, which is played by Carmen Cusack, and Tim Robbins as the rookie pitcher Nuke Lelouch, who's played by...
In our show, Will Savarese.
Will Savarese. Oh, also, this is pretty cool. Ron Shelton was a minor league baseball player for multiple seasons, which is where he pulled all of that from. He also wrote White Man Can't Jump.
He wrote White Man Can't Jump. He also wrote... Do you see how you just smacked me in the face with that mic? It's perfect.
You were going to catch it, right?
Yeah. I'm a catcher. Yeah. He wrote Tin Cup, White Man Can't Jump, and this, and then a bunch of other movies. He wrote some cop dramas. He's a prolific writer-director. He's amazing.
Let's get right down to the brass tacks of it. This show is fantastic. I will tell you, I didn't take any notes. I was like, well, how am I going to take? I feel so weird to take notes during a show. I don't want to take anything out. I don't want to be writing. Because the biggest thing that I love about theater as a performer is that this audience is here with me tonight, and we all are sharing in this experience that will never exist again. And I want to experience that as an audience member every time that I go to. I don't. Sometimes I'm with someone who leans over and wants to talk to me or say a comment about something on stage, and I shut them down so quickly. I can't. I'm like, don't break the magic. I need to be. I am trying to be present with them, because also if I miss a moment, I want them to get my feedback of either my gasp or my silence. Sometimes silence is incredible feedback. I have been in plays where the room goes so quiet and I've got them. And this show, in the moment one, when Carmen started singing, I felt I felt goosebumps. I felt the hair stand up on the back of my neck. My heart filled up. I was like, oh, I am in good hands here.
That's also the magic of Carmen specifically. Carmen, I think that the smartest thing, the movie was built, I think I would argue, very much around Crash's character and kind of seen through his lens. The musical is very much through Annie's lens, in my opinion. And that's up for debate, because we're still, and I think, again, the other important thing to note is the musical is very much still in process, right? We are building this. There's so many things that we still want to work on that, but it's in great shape. But I think that's one of my favorite things, is that you really get to sit with Annie and Carmen as Annie. Not only is she lending her this wonderful, sultry Southern charm, but also just her voice is magnetic, and her presence is magnetic. I mean, Carmen, you know I hate you. I'm not complimenting you in any way, shape, or form. My pitch to our writing team and our director was like, it's a very silly pitch, but I was like, hey, you know Johnny Depp is Jack Sparrow. Like that's what I want. That's what I in my perfect world. That's what I want Crash to be. Is like you get just enough of him. He comes in, he comes out, and he impacts. He pushes Annie towards discovery, and not that he doesn't have wants and dreams of his own, but it very much is Annie's emotional journey. That's that. And I think we're doing that. I think there's a lot of it that really is achieving that. And again, not that you don't want to know more about Crash, but like Carmen is just such a gift on that stage. So it's amazing to watch her.
Yeah, she really is. She really like immediately hooks you. That voice is so incredible. That connection to the audience, like that thing I was talking about, like she also opens it because the movie starts with a voiceover and she does that voiceover talking directly past the fourth wall to us. And I just felt that connection immediately with her. And I think that's why once she had hooked me in with that, like, I'm talking to you, and then her voice went through the rafters, that's what really was like, oh, you got me, and then you shook me. But just to take like a bigger view of the show, it's such a fun show. Like, clearly you're having a good time. And you're up to your maniacal plans and your silliness, and you're finding ways to be a chaos agent. The bat choreography, the general choreography, the gymnastics happening within it, the extra storylines that get a little more bump that weren't in the movie, like Millie and
Jimmy.
Millie and Jimmy.
Millie and Jimmy.
Millie and Jimmy get a lot more of an arc within this story, which is a beautiful arc to watch. I just thought that like it really this show knows what it is and serves that purpose beautifully. I think one of the things I talk about in this show specifically is like, what is the promise of the play that you're seeing or of the musical? Where does it fall short and where does it achieve that promise? And I thought that this one set the promise of like, this is the tone, this is going to be fast and fun and fucking great, and get ready. Yeah. Like, there's going to be spectacle, there's going to be a lot of baseball, and then here's this man, Crash, who's coming in trying to just poke the bear. Everyone's the bear. He's poking the ump. He's poking the young buck. He's poking the hot lady. But he's also standing up for the young lady. It's just got so much to offer, and I thought it really hit on all cylinders.
I think that's right. That's what we want. You want a story that is about. I mean, all good stories are change. It's all about change, and I think that when you talk about a musical or a show, or movie, whatever, touching the third rail, right? What's that thing that's just that extra sauce that this show has that nothing else has? Right, what we have is, the way in which we enact change in this show is a very provocative baseball player who just comes in and is just trying to mess with things. I think we also have a lot of inside baseball, like literally, because Ron, as a writer who, as you said, played in the minors, right, he just has this incredible knowledge of like just what baseball culture is, and never slows down, both in the movie and the musical, to kind of explain it to you, right? There are phrases that are happening that like, I don't even know what I'm saying half the time, but like that he knows so well. And so you really get a chance to just kind of like sit with ball players for a second and hear what that is to be, especially what that was to be a ball player in the 1980s. And I think that that's something that the team is interested in continuing to deepen, is that sense of like authenticity, both for Carmen's character, for my character, just always constantly looking for ways so that you can really dig in and land with these characters in a way that you're like, wow, I knew nothing about this culture before and I knew nothing about these people before, but like I'm walking away not only knowing them but connecting to them. And I think we've made great strides, and I think what I love about this team in particular is that like it's never enough. They will always be digging, for as long as we can keep doing this show and keep growing it. They'll always be digging for more and more.
And it's a sports movie and a sports musical that isn't about the winning, like how's this team gonna win? Every other sports movie feels like it's like, okay, we're watching this team and they're underdogs and they're not doing well, but now they're gonna win, and the whole story is about them winning. This one's about the relationships that win along the way.
I think that my favorite thing, because we've done this show, I've been on the show for 2 years now, right, in its development. The show's been in development for a long time.
Since 2014?
2014, yeah. And I think the thing that's been crazy, I took a car ride with Ron, and he was talking about like how in his mind, it's not a baseball movie. In his mind, he was thinking of movies like, he was thinking of Westerns. He was thinking of like Shane. He was thinking of like any movie that, man with no name comes to a town, jumbles up the town and leaves, right? Gets called in to do a job, gets fired, leaves. And so that structure on a sports movie, I think is actually kind of brilliant.
I think it's brilliant, especially for him to write that. Like the whole thing of like write what you know doesn't mean I just have to write a baseball movie. It means that I have this lens that other people and this filter that other people don't have, and I can take something that is known and put it through my lens in a way that nobody else can.
Yes, and I think that he's the if there's one triumph of the stage version of this story is that I think we take what he established in this movie and we justify it for living on stage, right? Because film is not stage. There are things that you can capture in a close-up that you have to capture with words in a play or a musical. And I think that the challenge of this that we keep meeting every day is just great. So how do we make sure that what landed in that close-up now lands in these words, while also giving you a spectacle that, like, while it's not the spectacle of actually watching baseball, you are getting a sense of what that feels like. So I mean, Josh Bergas, who was our choreographer, who was choreographer for Smash, both the Broadway show and the TV show, he's just a genius at staging the baseball sequences. And it really, I think that the gift is like, you really do feel like you're playing ball up there. Like it really is such a wonderful feeling. Like because you're just hanging out in your catcher's gear, just like, all right, here we go. I love it. Yeah.
How much did you take from Kevin Costner and his portrayal of Crash in your creation of the stage version of Crash that you put up?
It's interesting because I think so much of the discussion has been with my creative team, and they've been wonderful to listen to it. It's like, I don't know if you guys know this, I'm not Kevin Costner. And it was a surprise.
And they didn't know they didn't know that?
They didn't understand that at first, that I wasn't Kevin Costner. And it was like they were like checking my agents, like, hey, I thought this was, and I was like, no, it's not, because
someone told me this was the black Kevin Costner,
and I was like, I'm not even that. Like, I'm just I'm just a random dude from Boston, But I think that's been, what I love about Kevin Costner's performance is you never quite know when he's serious and when he's joking, right? There's a gruffness to him, and there's a charisma that's just very understated. And for stage, it wasn't even for stage, because I think there's a misnomer in stage that it has to be bigger. It doesn't have to be bigger on stage. It has to be, you have to be able to, trust your director to create a stage picture that somebody in the back row can see. But what we're actually doing should work on camera.
Right.
You're right. You should be able to put a camera right here and see it. So it wasn't about being bigger, but I did want to try just a little more playful. I wanted to just take that trickster energy and just like bump it up a little bit, because it's fun for me.
You said bump it up a little bit? Is that what you think you did?
Are you saying that I bumped it up a lot of it?
I'm saying you took it from a 3 to a 10.
So it's at a 10. That's where it's at.
It was at a beautiful 10.
I don't like the way that your eyes rolled when you said that.
It was at a beautiful 10.
Kids, if your eyes roll like that when you're talking to someone, you need to go see a doctor.
Go see an optometrist.
Yeah, please do. Please, for the love of God.
Yeah, no, it was full on Loki on stage. Getting how can I get to you? How can I fuck with you now? And like, oh no, everyone's sad. Like it was just hilarious. And then you also like, it feels like you also step out of the character of Crash at times, and it becomes Nick being Loki, fucking with castmates.
It's kind of true. I don't know when people discovered that or thought that I should do comedy, because I always studied dramatic stuff. But since I've been doing comedy more and more, this itch has just been scratched, where I just love messing around with my castmates. We did in Spam-A-Lot a lot. I'm writing at Warner Brothers right now with my writing partner Alex Brightman, and all of our little writers' rooms are just us messing with each other. And I think that when it came to Bull Durham, it was very much a thing of like, oh no, yeah, you just giving me a character who just gets to take the piss like every scene. So like, okay, that's what I'll do. And here's to be clear, I don't set out to mess with people on stage.
You don't set out to mess with people on stage?
I don't.
There is a specific part in this show. I'm not even spoiling anything because Nick's already posted this on Instagram, but there's a list of words that are parameters that you can say in an improvised moment. And it seems from the outside eye that you're using that moment as an opportunity to fuck with people on stage.
I think that the point of that scene is to get through it seriously and committed. If people aren't prepared to do that, that's not my problem. That is their problem, right? Like, I'm coming into the scene locked in, ready to go. So if somebody, Will Savarese or Daniel DePinto are on stage and they're not ready for whatever I say.
Daniel DePinto is the umpire and the bartender?
No, Daniel DePinto's actually, he plays Jose, who's like, my chicken bone cross.
Oh, yeah, because I was going to say, the guy, what is the name of the actor who's playing?
Benny Elledge as the umpire. Yeah.
Benny Elledge was a rock. Yeah. You were there saying fuckopotamus to him, and other people were starting to shiver with laughter, and he was a gosh darn rock up there.
Well, it's fun because I tell Benny beforehand, I say, you need to lock in because I'm coming for you. And he's always like, all right. And so he locked in. And so it's impressive. It's impressive when Benny locks in. Now, Benny is trying to get people. Benny will look at you dead in the eye on stage and just say, and wait, right? It's almost like, about 15 years back, I was doing this show at the Hangar, and there was a scene, the song "No Day But Today."
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a song called "No Day But Today" in there.
Yeah.
And my character, I'm not sure why your hand is here.
Yeah.
My character is supposed to come in, at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Now, you were playing a character.
Yeah, I was playing multiple characters. I played the man who sold drugs to Mimi, as well as one of the homeless or the unhoused people that sang Christmas Bells Are Ringing, and a bohemian who was clearly part of the friend group, or else why was he invited to all these events?
Great. So my question is to you, because we had no interaction
on stage
where the audience could see, and yet in my entrance into No Day But Today, you raised your hand for a fist bump.
Yeah, not like that. How's a fist? There you go.
Like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And you got right in my path.
It was your retribution moment. Your reintegration into the community. And this was, and on your way to making your way to your community, here was somebody who was kind of the outskirts of the friend group.
A drug dealer, the man.
No, and that wasn't the drug dealer. The drug dealer wore a different outfit. That was the bohemian.
Are you sure about that?
Yes. Check the stage pictures. And the bohemian was there to say, like, even the outskirts of this friend group are accepting you back. Anyway, the other question I wanted to ask you is also like the making this into a musical. Like, was there ever a challenge of like, okay, we're putting music in all these different places. How am I justifying going into singing here? Were there parts where that was more complicated or more challenging than other times?
Absolutely, there definitely were. I think it's always the hard part about, because I never poo-poo like, it was a movie and you're adapting into a stage play. Like, can we get our original IP? Like, it's all ideas. So like wherever you get your source material from, as long as you're doing it with heart and quality and drive, like there's nothing to be ashamed of. But I do think that the challenge of taking a movie is that like, yeah, these moments weren't built to sing, right? These moments were built to whether it was progress story or just provide you with that little bit of information and get out quick, right? Like, so a moment like Kevin Costner has this great monologue in the movie where he talks about what he believes, right? This thing, and Susan Werner, our amazing composer, turned it into a song, and the difficulty of that moment is you're not expecting a song in that moment, right? Like, but how do you make it feel like that's the only thing that could have possibly happened? And the kind of the magic trick that I try to pull off is I told our music supervisor Vadim to not give me my note and just let me find it. And it's I apologize to my understudies because I'm so sorry they have to do that. But it does help in some little way to kind of at least give you an on-ramp to this moment where he's like all of a sudden singing, just because it's almost like it's a thought that comes to him. The music is a thought, right? And that's kind of what you want it to feel like, is like whether it's a choice or whether it's just like an elevation, that whatever that moment is, comes out of that little bit of magic. So I think that we found a lot of those, and we'll continue to find them, as we build it.
I loved that moment so much watching it, and it really also spoke to, because I loved you just finding the note out of nowhere, just one for the impressive aspect of it, and me thinking like, God, how do I do that? I can't do that. But then also, like you're saying, it was just what it felt like from the outside of just seeing the moment is it was such this thing of like, it was such a seduction. It was such a moment of, this is what a real man. I see you're here playing with the boys, but I just want you to know, like, I've been around the block, and this is what you're missing if you stick around with this kid. And that's why it felt justified to also have this heightened emotion, because you were very much like the peacock being like, check out my plumage, because this baby's ready for bed if you are, but if not, go ahead, hang out with the children.
To that end, I think, right, like a plumage in a way that is just about efficiency over. I think that's the constant battle with Nuke and Crash, right? Is this idea of Nuke is just energy. He's big theater kid energy, right? But I mean that in like a way of.
No, you mean it in a very derogatory way. Go ahead.
No, you decided that.
Then why'd you have to qualify it immediately?
Why are you looking at them, not me?
They're the only ones who have my back.
That's inaccurate, first of all. Jesus Christ. Second of all, Nuke is energy, right? And so I think when Crash comes in, it is this thing of just like, he is coming in with the simplest, most direct thing. I think that's so much part of it, is just like, what was the simplest way to get into a song? Simplest way to get into a song is find the note.
Those were my major questions. I just so much enjoyed the show. I thought everyone's performances were really out of the... I really... Can you tell me again the name of that bartender?
Benny Elledge.
Benny Elledge was really a standout for me. I also know from the cast Diana Huey, and I was talking to her afterward. There was a moment, and as an actor, I understood what was happening. She, at one point, was sitting in the stand smoking 2 cigarettes in her hand, and I clocked it, and I went, that is such a weird character choice. Why would someone have 2 cigarettes? And then later, because the mascot gets hit with the pitch and gets pissed and wants to fight, she runs over, and that's her boyfriend, and she gives him a cigarette to calm him down and take him off. I'm like, oh, the whole reason she had 2 cigarettes is because she was planning ahead. And she told me about how the director went later, like in tech, saying, hey, Diana, you always have 2 cigarettes at that point? And she went, yeah, I always have. And I'm like, could you try not having 2 cigarettes? Yet opening night. Because like that, honestly, it's just actors solving problems.
And I think that's, you talk about like theater incubators. That is actually my favorite part about kind of development in general, is like, it's all just problem solving. It's all just like something comes up that's crazy, and you just got to figure out how to make it work. And when you have a good group of people who like love to do that kind of work, it's pretty special.
And those are the kind of actors that we love to work with. Yes. The kind of actors that bring up their own stuff. I loved the show. I loved you in the show. I loved your connection with Carmen. The Crash and Annie love was so real and so clear. And I thought she just like wove such a beautiful arc through that musical.
And I will say, honestly, it meant a lot to have you there. As much as I give this man crap, I do love this man very much. And opening nights are always crazy. They're always, scary, and you don't know what's going to happen. So having you out there and the warmth that you brought meant a lot to me. But all I'll say is, come, if you're in the tri-state area, come see Bull Durham. If you're in the New York area, come see Masquerade. We keep extending, they keep adding dates, and I'll be back. I'm doing Bull Durham till November 2nd, but I am going back for a day. You're actually getting the exclusive scoop. Are you ready for this? I'm going back for a day for Halloween night for Masquerade.
Spooky.
Well, because I literally said to our director, Diane Pauls, I was like, hey, you built a 6th floor haunted house, and you're telling me, who like loves this stuff, that I'm not going to be there? Like, I'm going to be there. So we're doing Masquerade for one night, and I'm coming back, finishing out Bull Durham, and then I'll be back in Masquerade for as long as they keep extending us, which is very exciting. So come to that, come to Bull Durham, and stuff, and I'll be around. I'll be actually out by you doing Warner Brothers stuff with writing and stuff.
Yes, you will. I don't know what you can say about that, but you will be doing that. I do have one question for you, or one thought. Do you think sometimes, because I think this, I think sometimes that an opening night can be deceiving. in this, especially if you have a comedy where you have a lot of love, you have agents out there, you have best friends, you have wives and husbands and lovers that are all just like giving of their energy. And sometimes you're like, oh shit, all that stuff does work. And then the next night you're like, how come that stuff doesn't work?
It's so funny because there are things in the show that work every time. I'd say this: the second act jokes land every time. The first act, as people are getting to know the story, that can sometimes be a little more like, ooh, I didn't know that was a joke, or ooh, I thought that would land perfectly. So that's interesting to kind of get that sense. But yeah, opening night is absolutely the warmest that you will have an audience. But yeah, I mean, it's also, I think opening nights are also hard because it's like it's either in the middle of your week or the end of your week. You are so tired, you're just trying to get through it. But we got through it, and like our company was just so on top of their stuff, and I was very proud of what we did opening night.
Nick, you got anything you want to promote right now that's going on for you that you can talk about? Outside of the Halloween night performance of Masquerade that you will be rejoining the cast as Phantom for?
Yeah, that's a big one. No, just support theater wherever you are. I think the beautiful thing about this podcast that my buddy Ryan is doing is that theater is something that that is ephemeral, right? Like it only lives when we want it to live. So just support theater. It is truly the most human moment you can have in the arts is just coming into a space with other people and watching them do their thing or being a part of them doing their thing. So support theater wherever you are is what I'd say.
Nick, come here. That's really beautiful. Thank you for saying that. Everyone, thank you so much for watching and for listening.
It looks like we're in like a speakeasy.
It does from your side. From my side, it looks like we're in a haunted house.
Well, your side looks like we're in a club, like a techno club. Yeah, because of the purple light.
No, but I know to you it feels like I'm in a club, but to me it really feels like I am welcoming you into the crypt, and I am the crypt keeper.
I think that's why I prefer this shot, which just looks like we're in a nice.
This one feels right for you.
Yeah, this is my vibe. Like a nice orange amber light. Do you know what I mean? And it just feels warm and like, oh, they're probably in like some sort of like, like put a little jazz music behind it. It's like a nice little speakeasy vibe. That's my vibe. I like quiet speakeasy.
No, you may exit without your life. Perhaps someone will be following you home.
That is one of my favorite rides.
Nik Walker, thank you so much for being on Big Theater Kid Energy. Thank you for letting me come into your home to record this. The lights were crazy, right? There's a nor'easter. It's still here. It's still, I don't care what you're saying. People still say it. There's a flood watch until like tomorrow. So the skies are gloomy. The light is leaving us. We had to do what we could. Thank you so much for dealing with it. We didn't know it was going to happen. We didn't know we were going to be down to one mic because Nick had faulty equipment. We had to work with what we had, and luckily I brought things that work. You got anything to say for yourself there, Nick?
Get out of my house.
All right, well, thank you so much for having me. Bye-bye!
We got Big Theater Kid energy. Look out, we project, we sing out, Louise. Never mark it, always go full out. John Patrick Shanley never had a doubt. Our voices are warm, fan kicks are high. We've got perfect form. We say thank you, five. Grab your prop, charge all the glow take. Curtains going up. 5, 6, 7, 8. We got Big Theater Kid energy.
Good. Yeah, it's over now. Son of a bitch. Jesus Christ.